Welcome back to Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show. I'm Craig L. Hayes. You're here with Jana Dunford, and we're on episode number 7 on her life story and what she wants to talk about and her stuff. And I think we're wrapped up on high school. We're going into college now, right? Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. We're going to college. Yay! Just to make it known, I went to college too. Well, actually, I went to junior college and then I dropped out. So I'm a junior college dropout. Didn't even make the full college dropout. So I like to be very specific on stuff like that. So anyway, we're in college and your college was? BYU.
Go Cougars. Woo.
Go Cougars. Oh. I can't even say that because I went to Clark County Community College.
It's okay. It's okay. So yes, I went to BYU. I was very excited to go there. And I went, what I realized as I was thinking about college is that I spent an awful lot of time just in class and doing homework. And there's not a whole lot to say about that, except that I studied family science. I started out as an elementary ed major, but I couldn't understand the schedule very much. It was really messy to me. And so, but the family science schedule was easy to understand and I liked the class that I was in. So I kept going with family science. Although later on, as I've gone in life, I have been quite disappointed in that area of study because I wanted to know how to have a functional family and how to help other people do that. And I did not get that out of the major that I was in. I actually got more out of reading ensign articles from the church about families than I did from my classes, which is a little disappointing. But there was one, theory, one thought that has always stuck with me from family science. And the thought was, do more of what works and less of what doesn't, which is a really good thing. I mean, sometimes we waste a lot of time on things that don't work. So that sometimes I've reminded myself of that. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. But I'm just going to summarize real quick. My first year, I loved college. It was really great. Really enjoyed just the freedom of being on my own. I had money in the bank and I spent it all on myself and bought new clothes and glasses for myself. And I had a great time. I loved the cafeteria because I don't like cooking. And so I loved having someone else cook for me all the time.
Where did you stay? Where was your dorm? Did you stay on campus or off?
On campus, okay. Helaman Halls.
Oh, Helaman Halls. Okay.
And so by the cafeteria and had a great time. I met a boy named Spencer, like my first or second day of school there.
That's weird because you have a husband named Spencer.
Uh-huh. But I met him along with dozens of other people. And at the time, he was no one special. He was just one of dozens, hundreds of kids that were just like, we were all thrown into this new college, woo, all over the place. And okay, great. Here we're having a good time. But like was it the first Sunday? I think it was the first Sunday. Well, no, I met him. I'll tell you, I met him at a dance. It was the new freshman orientation dance. And I went there and the room was kind of dark. I forgot what building it was in, but anyway, big giant room, and it was kind of dark in there.
Probably at the Smith Center, one of those gymnasiums or something over there.
It was something. Yeah. I can't remember, but anyway, and this guy Spencer had been in the mosh pit. If you know what a mosh pit is, in the middle of is boys' lousy version of dancing by smashing into each other as hard as possible.
Okay, I don't see your husband being in the mosh pit.
Yes, he was in the middle of it, and being a crazy young college student, but so were a lot of other people. So it wasn't unusual. Like, it wasn't weird. He was just one of dozens of guys thinking this was really fun. Anyway, and then a different song comes on and he comes over and asks me to dance. I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't know how many people I danced with that night. Who knows? He was just one of them. And so I danced with him. But the thing was, because he'd been in the mosh pit, he was dripping with sweat. It was the grossest thing ever. I'm like, ew, I don't want to touch this person. It was so sweaty, gross. Anyway, that was my introduction to Spencer. And
Wow.
and then of course then Sunday comes along and we all get cleaned up to go to church and all that stuff. And then I remember him saying, I know somebody that you know. Well, who's that? Karma Langton, which was his grandma, who actually lived right across the street from my parents and were in the same ward in Bountiful. And it turns out that he had actually seen me in Bountiful, like coming out to visit his grandma.
Stalker.
No, he had come out to visit his grandma for like summer vacation, and he had done that 2 summers in a row. And so he'd seen me like my junior summer and thought to himself, oh, that girl's pretty. I'm going to go talk to her. Well, I had disappeared from, church because you go home, right? Go eat lunch. And I was gone. And so he didn't get the chance. And the next summer he came out and he's like, oh, there's that girl again. Where did he come from? He came from Ohio. He's from Ohio.
Okay.
And so he was out visiting his grandma. And so second summer, same thing. He saw me in Sunday school again. There's that girl. I got to go talk to her. And again, I disappeared and he never talked to me. I don't remember him being there at all. Because boys have cooties, right? So in Sunday school
Even
class.
in high school?
In high school, yes.
Okay.
The girls in my ward, we all sat on the front row, and those naughty boys, they sat on the back row. So whoever it was, I didn't even care. All the naughty boys sat on the back row. And we ignored them. I'm sure our teacher got a big kick out of the whole thing.
I'm going to start, when I see Spencer again, I'm just going to start looking at him and laughing. I'm going, oh boy, did I hear some stuff about you.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, I know. But he just does not look the mosh pit type guy. I mean, because, he's very, short hair, very proper on all these things, wears glasses and stuff. You go, I don't see it through the mouth. It's this,
I know.
my friends, no doubt, always would be in the mosh pit if that was happening. But yeah,
well,
that's just funny. You find out kind of funny things during these things.
Yeah. So anyway, then, and on this one Sunday afternoon, I had eaten at the cafeteria and this girl came running out. I left the cafeteria to go back to my room and this girl came running out. She's like, wait, there's this guy in there that thinks you're beautiful and marvelous, wonderful, et cetera, et cetera. But he doesn't know your name or your phone number. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so I gave her my name and my phone number. Okay, bye. And she takes off running. And anyway, and then I saw that same girl a week later. She's like, well, did he call you? I'm like, who? Well, he didn't call you. Who are you talking about? It's like Spencer Dunford. Oh, yeah. He called me every single day this week. But see, so did a whole bunch of guys, like a whole bunch of people. Like that was just how it was. Everybody was calling everybody and talk yappity yap and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't unusual. It wasn't like special. It was just, that's what it was just lots of us getting to know each other. But anyway, by talking with him, I said, I like poetry. He liked poetry. So we said, let's set up a poetry club. So we made up this little poetry club for one semester and we got some other, college students to come and we did that. Most of the time we did that and I didn't really go to family home evening, but we did this poetry club and we would just make up a topic and we say, okay, everybody write a poem on this or that or something like that. And we'd just come and share.
Great idea.
It was just for fun.
Yeah,
and we just did it once a week,
though.
like on a Tuesday or something. It was just a fun time. And then our very last time that we got together, December or something, we watched Dead Poets Society and watched that together. It was just a fun time. And and again, I didn't really think much of him. He was just a guy, just like all these people. And even though we did this poetry group together, but he was just my friend. And there was one day when I was having a bad day and I'm complaining, blah, 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 life is horrible, blah, 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 whatever. And he said to me on the phone, and I said something like, well, nobody even cares, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, I care. And I thought, you do? What? Why?
He's an old smoothie. Yeah, man.
And so then I started to watch it and I'm like, what is up with this guy? Anyway, but even so, he liked somebody else. Like, so we, it was just this, we were just friends. It wasn't anything weird or special or anything at all. It's just, we're just
Oh,
friends.
that's great, though.
And then we got to the end, our last meeting of Dead Poets Society, and he and I walked back to the dorms. And I think that was the first time that we had actually gone somewhere by ourselves. Like, we'd always been with all the friends. We had gone to a dance together, but we were with someone else, like other, like we're always with all these people. And I think we walked home together, and I suddenly realized walking home that, because he was planning to leave on his mission at Christmas, he was going to leave and go, and he'd already gotten his call, and he was going to Oregon. And so we're like, great, happy, good job for you. And when we walked home, I thought, wait a minute, nobody can replace him. All my life I've been, had all these friends, and I'm like, well, if you move away, they get replaced by so and so, and you get more friends. But I thought, wait, no one can replace him. And it bothered me, and I didn't know what to do about that, and I really felt this sense of loss. And so when I walked into my dorm room, my roommate was in there, and she was crying because she had just broken up with her boyfriend, and I started crying too, because I'm like, oh no, he's leaving, Spencer's leaving. And so we just hugged each other, cried. And two silly girls, I don't know. But then during that Christmas break, my mom and her new husband, Jeff, came out from Florida to visit. And so I went to dinner with them and my brother and sisters in Salt Lake. And we were at the Joseph Smith Memorial Building. And it looks right over the Salt Lake Temple. And we were eating our food and, having a nice dinner together. And while we were sitting at this table, the Spirit said to me in my mind, you're going to be married in that temple. And I looked out the window, and I'm like, because it kind of caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. And I said, why? Why this temple?
Why that
and
one?
Why this one?
Good question.
And the answer back was, because it looks like a castle. And I'm like, yeah, it does look like a castle. And the thing was that Spencer was really into knights and castles and medieval things. And I was like, there's only one person I know who likes castles and knights and things like that.
Prince Charming. There you go.
And so anyway, then later, but I wanted to jump out of my seat. I was so excited. I'm like, that's where I'm going to get married. But I thought, if I do that, my mom will be so embarrassed. And so I held my tongue and I sat there. It was super hard for me to sit and finish eating because I was so excited all of a sudden. Anyway, well, when I got home, I told Kathy about it. And I told her, I think I found the one I'm going to marry. Well, she would never let me live that down for the rest of the time, even though Spencer and I had a bunch of ups and downs, and I really didn't know if it was actually going to work out, because actually it was 6 years later that we got married. So it was a long time. But at that time, that's how I felt, was like, I think he's the one, because this is what the Spirit said to me. And I was just like so excited. But that was my first year of college. And then in that summer, when I went home for the summer, my grandpa, who had been called, Grandpa Robinson, he had been called, my mom's father, was called as the mission president for the England-London mission. And so he called me up and he said, would you come to England and be a mini missionary for 2 weeks? And so I said, sure. And so I worked really hard at McDonald's and saving all my money all summer to buy my plane ticket and go to England. And I remember one time talking to a coworker there at McDonald's right at the front counter where there were no customers at the moment. And I remember telling the person I was talking to, the other worker, that I was going to go on a mini mission in August. And was interesting. Like, the person was happy for me. But what was so interesting was that while I was saying that, now you have to understand this McDonald's, it was McDonald's. There were not always positive influences at this McDonald's. Like I said earlier, we had cigarette smoke. I also noticed a trend with whenever we had new people hired there. I began, because I worked there for a long time, 2 years. And so I saw this happen over and over, but we would get new people hired in and I would watch the new people. And it was interesting because so many of them within 2 to 3 weeks would lose their righteousness, their standard of morality or whatever, they would go downhill within 2 to 3 weeks. There were only a handful of people that were hired there that would stay good. And that was so interesting to me. That happened over and over again. And that handful of people, we knew who each other was. And, even if even if we didn't talk to each other, but we knew, we just had this sense of, we know you're a good person. We know you're good. That we were really trying to do what was right. And there weren't very many of us. And the rest of them, they'd go downhill. They start smoking. They started, doing all the wrong things with the wrong crowd, because we had a lot of the wrong crowd at that store. But because of that, I'm just saying that we had, negative influences there at our store all the time. And so when I told this coworker that that I was going to go to serve a mini mission, I felt that there was someone I couldn't see standing between us that turned around and looked at me and went, And from that point forward, I started having a lot of opposition, and things would go wrong that were so crazy. They forgot to put me on the schedule for an entire week. They never, in all my 2 years working there, had ever forgotten to put me on the schedule. Why would you forget to put one of your best workers on the schedule? Weird. And so I remember thinking, what am I going to do? I got to save $1,000 to go on my trip. How am I going to earn money this way? And so I started praying, Heavenly Father, I've got to work. I need 40 hours and I'm not on the schedule at all. And it was interesting because in my prayer, God said to me, well, someone will be fired. And I'm like, well, you don't have to fire anybody just for me. Just have a school function come up or something, just something regular.
Now what you're supposed to do is go, well, can you make sure it's that person or that? I really don't like.
No. I did not say that. No. But again, I said, no, you don't have to fire anybody. And the thought came again, someone will be fired. And I'm like, oh, golly. And so then the next day I went into work. And I'm going into work, and I walk in, and my two managers are arguing with each other. Well, we can't fire him just like that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I started listening harder, and I realized that certain person hadn't shown up for work. And this was the second time or something like that. And they said, well, we can't fire him. And they said, well, who are we going to get to take all their hours? And I piped up, well, I didn't get put on the schedule this week, and so I can take all their hours. They're like, done. And sure enough, the person was fired. I got all their hours. I actually ended up getting sick at the end of the week. I couldn't work one of the shifts, but I ended up getting another shift, which covered it. So I ended up with 38 hours that week when I had none. There were just things that happened like that were just amazing to me, that, God was on my side and helping me despite all the opposition.
Isn't that cool? That's the coolest thing in life is when you're trying to do the right thing like that, things just happen.
Yeah. And that's one thing I've noticed, is that there is great opposition to great choices. If you're going to do something really good, then expect there to be a lot of opposition to it. And that is definitely something I've noticed. I'm like, every time I make a really good decision, watch out. And so anyway, so I did. I got to go to England. I flew over there. I actually got to fly over with my cousin, who was actually assigned to the England-London mission. And I forgot to say earlier, but my very first date I ever went on was with my stepbrother, Roger. He was my very first one. We went to Lagoon. My second date ever was with my cousin, Bryant. And he was the one who I flew over to his mission with. We were on the same airplane, and he was going for his actual 2-year mission, and I was just going for 2 weeks. But my grandpa was his mission president. And so that was kind of a cool thing, because he also was my step cousin. And, but so I did. I went over for 2 weeks, and I had my one companion was from Wales, and we taught a guy who liked to play the guitar, and he was kind of crazy, but he was fun to talk to. And we taught another lady who, it was really great, because I was not trained as a missionary. I never went to the MTC for that. I had not been to the temple. I had no training whatsoever, besides just going to seminary or, be a member of the church. And so when I was sent out for those 2 weeks, I really did live as a missionary. And I have to say, I had never cooked my own food because I had been in the dorms. So I didn't know how to cook food. And so here I was in England, not having a clue how to cook or how to shop for anything. And so when we went to the store for the first time, I'm like, well, I like oranges. Onions are yummy and something else. So I just bought these things. It was terrible. I had no food to eat. That's okay. You learn the hard way sometimes. It's okay. My companion took care of me, but gee whiz. Anyway, but we met this lady named Irina, and we taught her, and she was asking questions that I knew the answers to. I'm like, I know that. So I flip open my seminary scriptures and I found the plan of salvation. I'm like, look, it's like this. And I showed it to her. We lived before we came here. Now we're here to be tested. And when we're done, then we have, if we do a good job, we get to go to heaven, the celestial kingdom or whatever. Oh, that made a lot of sense to her. She really liked that. And later, a month or two later, when I came home, my companion wrote me and said, Irina got baptized. And so did her husband.
Oh, so cool.
And so that was, I was so excited. So that was a really cool thing. And my companion ended up marrying the driving instructor in the ward there later on when she went home from her mission.
So how old were you when you went over and did the...
I was 19.
Okay, so had you graduated already?
No, it was just after my first year of college.
Okay. Yeah,
So
wait a second. High school.
No, it's okay.
Man, I
graduated
went
from...
back to high school. Like, okay, I
No.
forgot. We're at BYU now. Forget
We're at BYU. I
know
finished
how to
my
count.
first
I know how to
college
count, folks.
year.
I really do. So.
And it was my summer. So
Oh, that is so cool.
So I got to do that, and then I came. Well, you said we're almost out of time, but
On this
I guess
episode, we always have more. It's like Doritos. We'll just keep going. They'll make more.
But I did get to do some sightseeing things there with my grandparents for a minute. We got to go to listen to a concert at the Royal Albert Hall. We got to go to Windsor Castle, and I took a whole bunch of pictures of the knights and armor and all of this stuff. And who did I send it to? Spencer. I sent him all the castle stuff that he would like to see.
You're in Oregon. Look where I'm at.
I know. That's right. Woo! Wish you were here, huh?
Use the special one now.
So, yeah, but actually I learned because I missed him. And when I was there on my mini mission, I realized that I could let go of him and not write him every single week, that I could be okay without writing to him every day. So that actually was a good thing too for me to realize. And so I stopped writing to him so much after I went there. I had been writing to him since December. So, December to August. So I've been writing him like every week.
Right. 8 months worth, yeah.
But it wasn't just me. There were other girls writing to him all the time too. So, but I realized that I'm okay. I was okay. I didn't need to write to him all the time to be okay. And so I didn't. After that, I wrote once in a while. And he wrote once in a while. Yeah. So anyway, we should probably stop right there.
Yeah. And poor me, I only knew who was writing me by the smell of the perfume on the
oh my god.
On the letters. And I'm serious. And it's like I have guys in the mission office would go, yeah, we'd smell and go, oh, it's such and such, because they'd see who it was, and go, yeah, the crazy things we do.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well. Folks, that's the end of that episode. We'll come back in just a minute here. We'll do another episode and continue on with college life. Yay. Thank you for listening to Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show.